Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan, and today I'm going to be ranking my top 10 hidden gems in the 2020 NHL Draft. Now with this 2020 NHL entry draft, obviously it is known for its high-end talent, and deservedly so. You got Lafreniere, Raymond, Byfield, Stutzle, Drysdale, Rossi, the list goes on and on. But I think there's bound to be a lot of fantastic talent still left in the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds that I think would definitely be valuable in the NHL. So, who do I see as the biggest hidden gems in the 2020 draft, and which prospects make my top 10? Watch till the end for all my picks and rankings, and of course, hit that subscribe button for more 2020 draft content just like this. Now to clarify before we get into the first hidden gem of the 2020 draft, these are hidden gems, not underrated prospects, though they are underrated. Let's say a Noel Gunler. I think he's totally underrated, but he isn't a hidden gem since I think he's pretty likely to go in the 1st round. These are guys you could find in the, at least I would say, or at most I would say the 2nd round, but guys you could probably find in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round that provide some excellent value. A good example of that comes at number 1, my first hidden gem of the 2020 draft, that being my boy, Zayde Wisdom. I made a full video about him, watch that if you haven't, fantastic story. But Zayde is also a fantastic hockey player too. Playing with the Kingston Frontenacs already at age 17, was able to get 59 points in 62 games played, be 2nd in team scoring. But Zayde is a guy that works hard, is a tremendous player, and just overall has the skills, I think, and the determination especially, to be a solid NHL player. I think you'll probably find him in the late 2nd, early 3rd round, which to me is an excellent value pick. Now going on to my 2nd hidden gem in the 2020 NHL draft, I have my man, Mysak. Now, no, it's not like Mysak, his famous brother, but Mysak is still pretty good at hockey. Now when it comes to when he will get picked, I'm pretty confident it'll be around that 25 to 40 range. So an early 2nd rounder I would say is most likely, but I think getting him in the 2nd round will be absolutely tremendous value. I think Mysak has such a high ceiling when it comes to skill, when it comes to really working on his skating. He's done a great job over that in the past year, but that's a player that in terms of just the raw talent alone, I think has tons of it. Played fantastic in the OHL, 6 foot, solid winger. That's a guy that I think will take some time, but at the NHL level will be very, very solid and could even be a top 6 winger potentially on a 2nd line, I think. The skill is there, the talent is there, and the potential is there. To get him around number 30, I think will be an absolute steal. Now moving on to my 3rd hidden gem of the 2020 NHL draft, that being finished forward Roby Järventie. Now Järventie is one of the more unique wingers in this draft, a guy that I think offensively has all the tools to become a really solid middle 6 player in the NHL. Although the defense is really suspect at times, he is a winger, so it does cover up quite a bit. But he's 17 years old, doesn't turn 18 until August, but was already playing in the Mistis, the 2nd tier below the Liga, and was able to get 38 points in 36 games played, be 5th in team scoring. And again, the Mistis is a league that the leading scorer is 23. You have a bunch of men that are really solid, by the way, that Järventie was able to play very solid against. Now, I have him 34 in my rankings right now for the 2020 draft. It will be a little bit high for some people, but I think the high-end potential of Järventie is fantastic. He's bound to go probably in the mid to late 2nd, I would say, and at that point, I think would be an excellent pick. Now going to my 4th hidden gem of the 2020 draft, and this guy just does not get enough credit, that being USA-born Berard. Now, Berard is quickly becoming one of my most underdog and favorite players of this draft. He doesn't turn 18 until September, one of the youngest players in this draft, but in the USDP he has gotten 34 points in 41 games, and there is some big room for improvement, but I still think the raw tools he has will lead to a pretty successful NHL player. Now, one of the main reasons I think why he is ranked so low is he's 5'9", 152 pounds, and he will definitely have to gain some muscle, but in my opinion, the offense skills he already has and the awareness defensively already, that's a player that I think will be a middle 6 guy. I think you could probably get him in the 3rd, maybe even the 4th round, and to get him at that point, say it with me, would be an absolute steal. Now going to my 5th biggest hidden gem of the 2020 NHL draft, going to the WHL and going to Ozzy Wiesblatt. Now, Wiesblatt is a guy that is most likely to go in the mid to late second round, but I have him right now ranked number 35, and there's a few reasons why. Because with Wiesblatt, there isn't anything terribly amazing when it comes to him, but he is just incredibly efficient and gets it done. Got 70 points in 64 games for the Prince Albert Raiders, second in team scoring by quite a big margin, and he also leads Mitch Brown's tracking project with controlled entries per 60 with 22 across the entire CHL. That's absolutely fantastic, and he's a guy that drives play super effectively, and I think is bound to do that at the NHL moving forward. Now going on to my 6th hidden gem of the 2020 NHL entry draft, and I have WHLer Pavel Novak. Now Novak, definitely having one of the more cooler names of the draft, is also one of the better players in the draft in my opinion. Now he's ranked for a lot of people around the 90-100 range, and I don't really see why, because although I don't think his skills are as good as his production, the production is still very good. 55 games played with the Kelowna Rockets and 58 points, 25 goals, 33 assists, was the team leader in scoring, and by 9 points too, making it look pretty easy. Now again, I think he is a little bit lesser so than the production does imply, but I think the skills are definitely there to become a solid NHL player. I don't really see a star in Novak at all, but he's a player that for Czech hockey can be a pretty good proud spot, and I think could be a big part of that World Junior team, especially next season. Now going on to my 7th hidden gem of the 2020 NHL draft, I have another Finnish forward, that being Veeti Miettinen. Now Miettinen is one of the more solid and consistent prospects in this draft. He is on the older side, being a September birthday, the other way around, so again, he's one of the oldest players of this draft, but he absolutely torched the Junior A SM Liga, getting 73 points in 52 games, absolutely dominating and leading the entire league in points. He's bound to be a big part of the NCAA team, St. Cloud States. That's where he's going next season. That's where he's committed to. But Miettinen is a guy that's pegged around the 50 to 90 range. And from what I've seen from him so far, that's a player that just has lethal offensive instincts. And in terms of IQ, potential, and puck skills, the tools are all there. Now going on to my 8th hidden gem of the 2020 NHL draft, going to one of my favorites too as well, that being Dmitri Ovchinnikov. Now Ovchinnikov, of course, kind of being similar to Ovechkin, just in the name alone, he's obviously the GOAT already. But Ovchinnikov is a guy that is really intrigued me over the past year. In the NHL, was able to get 55 points in 54 games, which for an August birthday, doesn't turn 18 until August, is pretty incredible. But he just got better and better as the season progressed, showing his skills, getting a lot more ice time, and just progressing as he should have. That's a guy that I think might be set for the KHL next season if he continues to develop. But that's a guy that just has pure potential and exudes puck skills. A guy that I think offensively can be a really solid player someday. Maybe not a first line or even second line player, but I think the tools are there to become a pretty great complementary player at the NHL level. If he comes over, which who knows at this point. Now going on to the 9th hidden gem of the 2020 NHL draft, and I know I've said it before for some of the other prospects that they don't get talked about enough, but man, this guy does not get the credit that he deserves, that being Rory Kerins of the OHL. Now with the Sioux Greyhounds in 64 games, was able to get 59 points, 30 goals, 29 assists, was able to get second in team scoring, more than Yarmir Pitlick, who a lot of people have as like a early second rounder. But he just got better as the season went by, got more and more efficient, and the more I watch of him, just the more I love. He's just an efficient player, isn't too incredibly fancy with things, and I don't think he needs to be. He's a guy that produces at the OHL level, and I would be very surprised if he's not the leading scorer and dominantly next season. Now going on to my 10th hidden gem of the 2020 NHL draft, and depending on who you ask, he's either completely overrated, completely underrated, and everything in between, that being Zion Nybeck. Now Zion Nybeck, again, compared to what you might hear, some people have him in the top 20, some people have him not even their top 50. It is super polarizing. To me, I have him at number 28, and I am a pretty big fan of what he brings. Now, I think the main reason why he isn't higher is because he's 5'8", and he doesn't really have that amazing explosive skating. But if you can really work on that, that's a player that I think will pretty well, I think, transition to the NHL level. But just in terms of raw potential and the raw skills that he has, it is one of the best in the draft, and especially when it comes to Swedish players overall, he's one of the best in the draft too. I would definitely take him with a first-round pick, and if he's available in the second, maybe even, who knows, the third round, man, one of the biggest steals of the draft, in my opinion. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, with this video, I need to hear y'all's thoughts down in those comments down below. What you agree and disagree with, and also let me know what your hidden gem of the 2020 draft is as well. And make sure, of course, with the comments, to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts, and make sure you share this video with your friends. Get the hidden gems out there, boys. And also click on this card right here to watch all of my 2021 NHL draft content. I'll see you guys next video or stream. Peace out. I love you. Goodbye.